We are live. Good evening. Good evening. How are you this evening on this very, very cold Tuesday evening? I'm going to ask you to let me know what the weather's like where you are. I'm pretty much going to assume that wherever you say you are, you're going to tell me that it's cold. I have that, that pink flushed face that when your central heating gets to that point where it's actually warm enough in the house, it's still really cold outside. You get pink and flushed. You might not do it, but every night at this time, I look like a beetroot. So there you go. You've got beetroot this week. I hope you're well. Let me know if you're watching live or if you're watching on a replay by putting it in the comments. Hashtag replay, hashtag live. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know whether it's cold. So I don't know who's coming up there. Hi, I've got somebody watching. Can't see where you're watching from. So I can't see all the comments. Depends on which platform you're watching me from, because this is going live on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and in 3 places on Facebook. So wherever you're watching from, you are really, really welcome. And for those people who don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson. And I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm a creative retreat owner in Scotland, and I help you amazing creative women to launch, grow, and scale your businesses and make more money. So tonight, I wanted to talk all about you, because I think you are your greatest business asset. You might not feel the same. And it's an important topic to talk about, particularly coming up to the end of one year. We are so close now. We are facing a new year, 2023. And let's look back, shall we, over the last couple of years. The last couple of years have seen us locked in our houses. It's seen high street shops struggle and close, businesses going out of business, a change in the dynamic of our high streets and how much that we shop online. This can leave you as a business owner feeling really a little bit discombobulated, lacking confidence in yourself, and making your time feel like you've got to be constantly hustling and making money, constantly hustling, making money, doing things to make money, or you're living in fear, or you're doubting yourself. And perhaps I would suggest that maybe you haven't invested as much time in you as you could have or you should have. So tonight, that's what I want to talk about. So why do I think you are your greatest asset? Because when your cup is full, when you are filled up, when you are rested properly, when you get 8 hours sleep, when you are hydrated properly, when you eat healthily, when you get enough exercise, when you fill your cup up first, you are the absolute best business owner that you can be. And that is when you are going to perform at your highest and at your most productive. And oftentimes, when I'm working with my clients, they often put themselves at the bottom of the list. Everybody else comes before them. They serve their families first. They serve their friends first. They serve complete strangers first before filling up their own cups, before allowing themselves time to process things properly, to do things properly, to take their time. Because we're living in a world right now where there's a hell of a lot of pressure on you to do things quickly. Do it quickly. If you're going to launch a business, if you're going to be a business owner, you've got to do everything. You've got to do it quick. You've got to make money. You've got to do all these things. And it's actually not like that, because taking a step back can mean that you can take giant leaps forward. So tonight is all about you. So what I want to ask you is several questions. What sort of self-care and self-love routines do you have that you do every single day in your life, in your planner, in your diary, in your online planner, however you do your planning, how much time do you allocate to you and your needs? Do you, if like me, if you need a nana nap at about 3 o'clock, do you give yourself an hour to have a cup of tea and a nana nap? I do every single day. It might look to you like I work a lot, that I do a lot of things, and that I'm always busy. And I'm going to set the record straight there. I'm never busy. I'm never busy. And I've got multiple businesses because I look after myself first. Monday and Tuesday are my busiest days. And that's when I get the most done. But I still don't work 14-hour days. I don't do that anymore. I did it when I was in retail because I come first. And when I have looked after myself, I'm at the top of the priority list here. I'm more important than everybody else in my life, because if I am good and if I am well and if I am looking after myself and making sure that I have enough self-care, then I can look after everybody else and all these businesses really, really well. So I'm going to ask you to flip the script a bit and think about how you look after yourself. So that's what the first question I'm going to ask you tonight. What self-care routines do you have in place that go into your planner every single week? How do you start your day? Morning routine is one of the most important things to me. And this sounds like a really small thing in the big scale of things, doesn't it? But mornings are really important. Whether your morning starts at 12 midday or whether your morning starts at 6 in the morning like mine, it's a really important time, that kickoff time. I call it kickoff time. It's like a football match. Yeah, you're kicking off. And then you can be really productive for an hour and a half for the 90 minutes of the football match. And then you can step back and you can do some more self-care. So my day kicks off by being woken up by a long pointy dog called Diesel. Every morning I'm up at 6 a.m. and I take the dogs out for about a 40-minute walk. Come rain or shine, freezing frost, it doesn't matter. Because that walk wakes me up, energizes me, allows me time to think, put myself in nature, enjoy my dogs, enjoy my time with them. It's the most important slot of my day, because by the time I get back, I am ready for getting myself ready for work. But I don't start work early. No. When I come back, I will play with Diesel in the garden for another 10 minutes. Making sure that that's a full hour that I dedicate to the dogs in the morning. And only then will I jump in the shower and get myself ready. And then I'll have my smoothie and my cup of tea. And I'll spend 10 to 15 minutes meditating and practicing gratitude every single day. That's before I start work. You normally won't get a reply from me on Messenger or on email till after 9 o'clock, actually quite often after 10 o'clock in the morning, because that's when I start actual work. The first few hours of the day are about me setting myself up and filling up my cup. And I want you to think about that in your life. And you might not be a morning person and you might not get up that early, and it doesn't matter when that routine starts for you. It's when you wake and when you start your day, what is the first thing that you fill up? So when I start my work, my mind is clear. My mind is focused. I've got a plan in my diary. I know what I'm going to be doing first. I know what I've got to face and deal with for the rest of the day. But I will only work for that hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I'll take a break. And I'll take a half an hour break. It might be a cup of tea. It might be going out in the garden to play with the dog again. Whatever it is, I'll break my day so that I can come back and face the next set of tasks. So this is how I look after myself to make sure that I am constantly full up. If I'm too busy, I will not answer messenger messages or emails. They will wait until they appear on my slots in my diary. So how well are you planning? This all comes back again. You know, guys, you know how much I love planning. I'm always sharing stuff on planning. I've just done a free planning and goal setting workshop. I love to talk about planning, but planning your time enables you to put the spotlight on you and to put the focus on you. So going into a new year, the big question is, how are you going to put yourself front and center and top of the priority list? And I want you to include everything in that. Do you take even just 15 minutes out a day just to do some breathing, to sit and calm your breathing down, to take some time to think? Doesn't have to be meditation. It can literally be breathing. Do you manage to drink 2 liters of water every single day? Are you hydrated throughout the day? Are you taking care of that part of your health? These are the questions I want you to start looking at now, because believe me, you can become a much better business owner when you look after you first. So I've just been through, I like the idea of slots in the diary and breaks. Guilty of not planning. Thank you, Debbie, for being really, really honest about that. This is what I am finding in so many of the women that I come across. You end up stuck in a room for hours on end, like churning stuff out, thinking you've got to get stuff done. It's in your head. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. When you are that busy, you are actually about 60% slower than you would be if you were clear-minded, really focused, well-rested, well-hydrated, and not stressed. Because when you're all those things, your productivity is really, really high. You'll come in, get what you've got to get done, and then you can step back again. And it's this regular breaks, regular focus time on you. So my day may start at 10, but it'll finish again at 11:30, 12 o'clock for a break. I may start again at 12 o'clock and work till 1:30. Then I'll stop for lunch and I take a full hour. I may then do another hour and then I'll be ready for a nana nap. Honestly, my day is made up of very small slots of time. But in the slots of time that I work, I'm really productive because I am looking after myself throughout the day. Tonight, I've got a live here. So I've been sitting for a couple of hours, had a nice dinner, had something to drink, do my live, and then I've got half an hour before I've got a call at 8. So I know this, so I've taken a good few hours off this afternoon to rest myself, to make myself clear for the 2 things that I've got in my diary tonight that are important. So my working day is probably no more than 7 hours throughout the day in small slots. So I work 7, 8 hour days, but only in small chunks, doing the things that make the biggest difference in my business. So showing up and doing this live for you tonight, even though this is a free training, this is about visibility. It's about expanding my network. It's about giving you value for your time, for watching me. And this is about building a network of people who actually like to consume what I've got to offer. And that's important. I like your planner. Traffic Light's going to do more in 2023. Thank you, Debbie, for that. But one of the other things that I've got, and I've got this little exercise for you tonight, is before you can do all of this, some of the stuff that we hold on to, you'll see me doing this quite a lot. Sometimes if you're with me, I'll do this quite a lot of straightening my back and just moving my muscles a bit just to get myself settled and comfortable, and particularly when I'm getting ready to do some sort of exercise. I talk about this a lot, but unless you work on yourself and unless you work on forgiveness and gratitude, and I do this daily, by the way, every single day, have done for years and years and years, we'll be doing it in 10 years' time. You are starting, it's not only about physically looking after yourself and mentally looking after yourself, it's about letting go of the things that are niggling you or holding you back. And forgiveness is a big part of that. When you truly learn to forgive, even forgiving yourself for not looking after yourself is a thing, believe it or not, then you give yourself this clean slate of being able to move forward. Forgiveness improves your productivity. Self-care improves your productivity. Meditation and breath work improves your productivity. Gratitude improves your productivity because you're clearing away the garbage. That's the only word I can really use. You're clearing away the garbage that holds you back. Being angry at people and being unable to forgive them, or being angry at situations, and there's a lot of anger at the minute in the UK. There's a lot of anger at the government, at society, because of COVID, because people have lost people. There's a lot of anger, angst, upset, dis-ease in the UK at the moment, and probably in other places in the world as well. So I've brought to you tonight a little exercise called Ho'oponopono, and you might have heard of this. This is not mine. This is an ancient Hawaiian spiritual practice, and a lot of spiritual coaches, a lot of the big coaches have experienced this, done this, and share this. And I do. I've experienced this, done this, and I now share this Ho'oponopono spiritual practice that involves learning to heal all things by accepting total responsibility for everything that surrounds you, confession, repentance, and reconciliation. And it's a very small exercise, but a very big, powerful impact on you and your life. So the process of Ho'oponopono is a very simple one. It's 4 things. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. The Hawaiians actually do it in the sea, and it's almost like a baptism, a rebirthing of the soul, where they are saying, I'm sorry to whoever, doesn't matter, to themselves, please forgive me for what I've done to you or what I've done to myself. Thank you for the lessons, because everything has been a lesson. And I love you. I love you. I love myself. Yeah. I love the people that have hurt me, that I am forgiving. I am sending them love. I am thanking them for the lesson. And people say to me sometimes when I talk about this, how can you forgive somebody that's really hurt you, that's been horrible to you? Well, it's really important that you forgive these people. Hurt people hurt people. So they have been hurt themselves. They have mistreated you. Your job is to let that go and forgive them. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to go to them and say, I forgive you. You just have to let it go and forgive. And that's the process of Ho'oponopono. Now, you can't do this once and expect all to be okay with the world. I've been doing this now for years. When I feel a little bit of angst about something, or something crops up that's in my subconscious, you get a trigger or a reminder, something, even a car passing you by, revving an engine or with a really loud exhaust on it, can remind you of something that might have triggered you in your past. And it can bring up anger and it can bring up resentment. So when that happens with me, I notice that and I do practice my Ho'oponopono. I have had to forgive my ex-husband before Gary several times before I actually forgave him fully 100% and don't hold any grudges or any anger for all of the horrible things that he did. And I'm sure there's lots of women been in that situation where they've been with men that are potentially narcissists, that have not treated them well, and it's really difficult to let go of that. But here's the thing, if you have been in a relationship like that, that's not about you. That's about them. If they're a narcissist, they can't be anything else. They can't be what you need them to be. And the reason I'm talking about this is some of this is stopping you being magnificent in your business. And as we're going into 2023, what I want for you is magnificence in your business. So I threw this Ho'oponopono onto a little 4-page or 4 or 5-page spreadsheet if you want it. So there's 1 page for each. So I'm sorry, confession time. What are you sorry for? For who? Who is involved and why are you sorry? For example, I am sorry for allowing myself to be used by my next husband because I realize now that he was only behaving how he knew how to behave around the boundaries I had put in place. That's a big thing, huge thing to actually be sorry for and accept responsibility for. But when you can release that fully, your shoulders go up and you feel fuller. And it takes time, practice, repetition. Repetition serves you. It really does. So if you want a copy of this, guys, you know what to do in the comments, and I'll send you a copy of this. The second one, please forgive me. Who are you forgiving? Be specific when you write it down. There's a little space on here to write it down. For example, I forgive my ex-husband for his behavior because he was unaware of how he hurt me. And I forgive myself for allowing the behavior to happen. Please forgive me, self, and forgive me, name of ex-husband. Okay, so please forgive me. Huge, huge. Would love a copy. Okay, Debbie, I'm going to send that out to you and anybody else that asks. The next one is thank you. These 4 simple things can be so big and such hard work. So thank you. What can you find gratitude for? For example, thank you for the good times. Thank you for the lessons, and thank you for letting me go when things weren't working. It's digging deep. I'm not using my ex-husband as an example here, but I just thought it was a good and easy thing. And a lot of women have experienced this to use as an example. Being able to say thank you for the things that went well, even the things that didn't go so well. Thank you for the lessons. And then finally, and this is the hardest one, believe me, declare your love for the person that you've forgiven, for yourself, or for the organization, or for society, whatever it is that's caused the hurt, and let it go out into the universe as a loving vibration. So saying I love you to my ex-husband, Sean, was one of the hardest things I ever had to do after he did all the things he did to me and he hurt my kids. Saying, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, all these things was really hard for me. I had to do it again and again and again until I could truly forgive him and forgive myself for allowing that to happen. Because actually, when I drilled down to it, I was more angry at me for staying too long. And I was more angry at me for not putting boundaries in place. And I was more angry at me for not leaving earlier than I was at him. And that was hard for me to admit. And the reason I'm talking about that and coupling it with business is when that's gone, you are big, powerful you again. You are empowered, big, powerful you that can be productive and focused in your business because you haven't got this stuff going on in the background. It's like white noise playing in your subconscious, holding you back from being the amazing business owner, the amazing person, the amazing new partner with somebody else. And believe me, I think this is the reason that when Gary showed up for me, I was ready. I was ready to be fully me with someone who was ready to accept me. And that was the most wonderful 7 years of my life. And I question if I hadn't done this forgiveness and gratitude, whether I would have made the most of those 7 years as much as I did. So you are your biggest asset. And believe me, you are worth the investment of doing this exercise. You are worth the investment of planning your self-care and your time that you need to be full. And I want you to do that for 2023. If there's one thing I want you to hold your hand up and commit to tonight, it's to commit to, Mandy, I commit to putting myself at the top of the priority list for 2023 and looking after me first so that I can be the best version of me for everybody else. And that's why I wanted to show up tonight. Very different live to the one I did this morning in my group in Creative Genius Corner. So for those of you that have been watching me for a while, that are still not in my group, Creative Genius Corner, please get in there. We are currently doing 12 days of Christmas lessons, and there is a prize giveaway every single day starting today. I've put the link in the description, so don't miss out on that. You will learn loads in Creative Genius Corner. I share value all the time in there, every single week, every single day. That's the place to go if you want your creative business to make more money, to get it on rails, to make 2023 your best year yet. Get yourself in that group, get to know me better. So the link is in the description. But above all else, get yourself at the top of that list for next year. And let me know in the comments if you want a copy of this Ho'oponopono exercise. And do forgive any spelling mistakes, because I did spot one or two then, because I literally knocked it together for this live tonight. And when I knock things together quickly, sometimes I am human and make spelling errors. So have a wonderful week. I'll be back next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. That will be my last live of the year, because I am taking 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year with my family, Boundaries, where I will not be answering anybody. I will be focusing in on me and my wonderful family and giving them everything. But I will be here next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. with whatever I decide to talk about next week. So I'll see you then. Have a wonderful week, and let me know if you want a copy of that. Bye for now.